NDAA has passed in Congress and is on its way to Joe Biden's desk to be signed into law, and with it the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. It's not as robust as we were all hoping for, but it does contain some really interesting and important provisions, among which any UFO incident over 25 years old from the time it was originated, the report was originated, must be declassified unless specifically held back. So let's go over some historical UFO cases, not just in the U.S., but worldwide, because this is a global phenomenon. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, here's the New York Times from 1954 talking about UFOs, and they have a joke. Honest, they're just rumors. And that's the Air Force, trying to clamp down on UFOs. I love it. So even the New York Times in the 1950s was talking about the UFO cover-up. And I'm probably not going to read this whole thing, but they say at the U.S. Air Intelligence Technical Center in Dayton, Ohio, a special project known as Blue Book, or a UFO program, has been set up under pressure. The pressure comes from U.S. citizens who still insist they are seeing flying saucers. Blue Book's mission is to try to find out what it is they're actually seeing. And it goes on talking about, Blue Book and all that stuff that was relevant and current at the time, before, of course, Blue Book was, revealed ultimately as another, tool of the UFO control group and the cover-up. But yeah, so apparently, this all got started back in the day. I think that the UFOs have always been here. Some people believe the UFO occupants actually created us, and that may or may not be the case. There are different versions of that story that the beings have told people over the years. But either way, it seems like this has gone back. This goes back a long way. There is some evidence to suggest that it really ramped up in the 40s and 50s, in that it may actually be on the decline today. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's interesting food for thought. Was this all, sparked by our nuclear research and atomic weapons, or World War II? What exactly got their attention and made them, more prolific in the skies on Earth? And like I say, it wasn't just in the U.S., it was globally. Here's an article from 1953 in Korea. On an unrevealed date in 1953, a United States Marine Air Group, okay, so the article may not be from 1953, but the incident was in 1953. A United States Marine Air Group photographer snapped this official U.S. Navy photograph that got in formation with aircraft in the Korean combat zone. For a few seconds, the UFO closely paced the Marine aircraft, then flew off at a speed estimated at over 1,000 miles per hour and disappeared in the distance. A bright flash from the cupola on top of the disc-shaped object burned into the film emulsion during this short exposure. And this is a beautiful shot of a UFO. It's almost hard to believe there's that clear of a photo of a UFO. And, from 1953, why can't we get a UFO this good these days? But, there you go. The global phenomenon. Here's from an article from 1950. Sees flying saucer wreck explosives expert declares pilot said 23 inches tall. Los Angeles, March 10th. An expert on chemicals and explosives Thursday told reporters he has seen the wreckage of an ultra-streamlined flying saucer on a Mexico City mountainside, and that top U.S. military officials have viewed it. But there was no confirmation of the account related by Ray Dominic, I can't quite make out that name, sales manager of the Apache Powder Company in the Air Force in Washington, said has heard nothing about it. Dimmick later told other reporters he actually saw only a strip of metal, which he was told came from the spaceship. The remainder of his information, Dimmick said, came from two businessmen in Mexico City, one an American, the other a Chilean Mexican. Part of his information, he said, was that a man 23 inches tall, the pilot of the object, died in the crash and that his body was embalmed for scientific study. Merrick VR shares this encounter. Gimbal meets 1947. On June 14th, 1947, just over a week before Kenneth Arnold's famous sighting, a pilot with nearly 30 years flying experience and 7,000 hours in the air reported several UAP in a V formation with one object straggling in the rear. And yeah, if you're not familiar with Kenneth Arnold, a very famous case, that's where we get the term flying saucer from. He said they were like saucers skipping over water. And so let's check that out. I first saw the original 10 objects. They were flying in a V formation with one object seemingly straggling in the rear of the formation. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but these encounters are endless. And there's so many newspaper articles back in the day, unlike today, where they're just starting to take these things seriously again. But back in the 40s or 50s, they did take this seriously, and they made many articles about it. When did the UFO control group, seed their operatives among the media to clamp down on this story? Well, probably somewhere around then. That has lasted until today, when finally reporters are forced to cover this, although often, mockingly and, playing the X-Files music in the background. Here's another one. Little men have returned. Remember the creepy stories about flying saucers and the little men from outer space? Dorothy Kilgallen has run into a new one in London. Here is the dispatch to the New York Journal-American at what a British official thinks about these little fellows. I can report on a story which is positively spooky. British scientists and airmen, after examining the wreckage of a mysterious flying ship, are convinced that these strange aerial objects are not optical illusions or Soviet inventions, but are actually flying saucers which originate on another planet. The source of my information is a British official of cabinet rank who prefers to remain unidentified, of course. We believe on the basis of our inquiries thus far that the saucers were staffed by small men, probably under 4 feet tall, my informant told me. It's frightening, but there is no denying the flying saucers come from another planet. This official quoted scientist as saying a flying ship of this type could not have possibly been constructed on Earth. The British government, I learned, is withholding an official report on the flying saucer examination at this time, possibly because it does not wish to frighten the public. In the United States, all kinds of explanations have been advanced for often cited flying saucers, but no responsible official of the United States Air Force has as yet intimated the mysterious flying ships had actually vaulted from outer space. Another one from Merrick VR, again a case pre-Kenneth Arnold. In June 10, 1947, 2 weeks prior to Arnold's famous sighting, a report from Hungary noted silver balls were flashing across the sky. Arrow has observed metallic orbs all over the world, making very interesting apparent maneuvers. And there is the article itself, the secret report. Okay, very intriguing. Richard Geldrick, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, reports the week of the Roswell crashes, the Borderland Sciences Research Association sent letters to newspapers, the U.S. government, etc. A search for its director, Meade Lane, on the FS Chronicles engine found one hit for July 9th, 1947. And he gets kind of, he gets a little woo-woo. Okay, this is really interesting. I mean, this is from, in the 40s, and they're already getting woo-woo about flying saucers. I love it. Not excarnate. The flying saucers are now believed to be etheric constructions and materialized here, just as a dead person is known to materialize under proper experimental conditions, seances. The discs can disappear by returning to the etheric level or vibratory rate. Their purpose is to attract attention to etheric worlds and life. They come in peace. They are human or human-like, the operators of the discs, but they are not excarnate humans from this world. They live in an etheric world of their own, imperceptible to our senses. They would like to try Earth life for themselves. The disks encounter almost no air resistance. Their means of propulsion is so far unknown. This information comes from a hitherto dependable trance control. So this is channeled information about these etheric beings materializing in our world. And I have seen a lot of support to suggest that that is a big part of the phenomenon, if not the whole thing. Oh, and that was from the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, Wednesday, July 9th, 1947. The borderland letters, which wound up in the FBI archives and are still there, were sent days before the Roswell announcement on the 8th. They actually predicted the 1947 flap in October 1946 in papers in their journal, long before Arnold or Roswell. So if they were predicting a flap, a UFO flap, maybe they were tapping into some genuine information. Interesting food for thought. At any rate, there you go. Several newspaper articles and documents related to UFOs from the 40s and 50s. When newspapers seem to take UFOs more seriously than they do today, unfortunately. But let me know what you think about this and how long the UFO phenomenon has been going on for. Did it just develop recently with the age, with the atomic age, or has it always been here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know what you think we're going to get revealed with the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. Releasing anything over 25 years old. Are they going to release Roswell? Are they going to release the Roswell files? Probably not. And if they do, it'll be heavily redacted. But, who knows, guys? Who knows? Fingers crossed. Information is coming out. There does seem to be a pro-disclosure faction within the UFO control group. And so we can only hope that they have some sway and are able to get some of this stuff released. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Discord, links below. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and they often get to see videos hours or even a day ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.